Today we wanted to introduce a series of informative videos that we're putting out. It's about setting up a hand tool workshop, and we thought we would start with showing you around our shop here. Some key features, some things that we found that work really well, maybe some things that we found that don't work so well, just in the hopes of helping you as you set up your workshop at home. So we'll start with the shop itself. If you're just as one person working in a shop, I would say, and Joshua would say, this is way too big. You will tend to find stuff accumulating in corners and piling on benches. So this shop is 24 by 26 feet, and you don't need anywhere near this much space to get working in your own home. But you do need a workbench. One of our future videos will talk more specifically about benches, but we have found that these, basically a 6-foot section, right, of each bench is dedicated to a worker or a task, and that is really ideal for most of what you need. Another important consideration is light. And you can see looking around here that we're really wanting to focus on natural light in this shop. We don't have overhead lighting, which tends to wash out detail. If you want to see textures in a surface or see what's going on as you work on something, you really want light coming in from the side rather than coming down from overhead. So we have lots of natural lighting in here. And this is the north side of this building. And you can see the light year-round coming through these windows is really diffused, and it's really quite nice to work. On the south side, especially during the winter when the sun is lower, you tend to get blasted out over there. So we actually would recommend that you look to putting your bench on the north wall. And that will give you the best and most even light for year-round woodworking. Some other things are just like having your basic tools accessible, easy to reach. We have some tool storage underneath the bench on a shelf, but everything is really easy to pull out and access if you know what you need. Most of the basic tools are just within arm's reach. You know, there's no necessarily any just a shelf to pull things off of, but everything, you know right where it goes, you know, and so you can make little custom holes to put your marking gauge in. You have chisels set up here, or you know, your pencils over here. You always have a hammer nearby to adjust your plane. But pretty much as you get set up in your workspace, you can start laying out the tools just so they're never further than just reaching to get them, depending on the task that you're doing. A couple other things that we would suggest when you start thinking about setting up your workshop at home are just having in mind the projects that you want to be working on. If you are thinking of making bigger pieces of furniture, you will obviously need bigger areas to stage in. If you're doing smaller things, maybe small boxes or just small a chair or a stool or something like that, you don't need nearly as much room to allow lumber to extend off your bench or to assemble or glue up in the middle of the room. So that can really change the way that you set things up. As I said, we're going to talk more about benches in a future episode of this, but the vise is really useful for, you know, any kinds of operations where you need to hold boards together and things like that, for dovetailing, for cutting joinery, and then of course the planing stop right here set into the bench top. We have actually found that the tooth planing stop is really useful, but you can do something just as simple as a nailed down or screwed down piece of stock as a planing stop, and this works just it works great, and it's infinitely replaceable and adjustable as you need to change based on the stock that you're working. So I think that's about it for today in just general considerations. for lighting, for the space that you need, and for how to get to your tools, how to lay them out. I've never been one to work specifically from a tool chest, but lots of other people like to do that, like to have their tools all in one spot. What I tend to do is unpack things. So it really depends on your sense of order and organization, how you best like to work and organize your tools around the project. So I hope this is a little bit helpful and informative, and we will have more information to share about setting up shop in the next episode. Thank you.